Okay, so recording started. So I will share my screen, then we'll fire on. I expect that within 30 minutes, I should be able to do the presentation. Then we'll use the next 15, 20 minutes to answer some questions, if there are any. So if you can see my screen, just type right on, right on. If you can see my screen, just type right on. Okay, beautiful. So this evening, we'll be looking at building a profitable real estate portfolio, which is one of the steps to becoming a successful real estate investor. So here is the content. We'll do a little introduction. We'll look at overview of real estate generally in Nigeria, portfolio, introduction, playing ground. That's we'll look at where you could invest. Then we'll look at the acquisition process, 7 pitfalls to avoid in real estate transaction, then how to fund your real estate or property acquisition. Now, if you stay till the end of this presentation, you will see how you can do massive investment in real estate without really having all that huge capital, because once they say real estate, people start getting scared and worried that I need to have 50 million, 30 million, or 100 million naira before I can even start talking about real estate. But this evening, we'll be looking at different finance options and how you can get started. So I open up with this. It's not what you know that matters, but it is how you use it. So what it means is you can have a lot of information, but if you don't apply that information, it's as good as not having it at all. So this is a little introduction about me. And Mrs. Adekunle has done a very good introduction. She read the profile. So let's look at overview of real estate industry in Nigeria. So the real estate industry is very, very unique and peculiar. It comprises of, the sector comprises of one sector and 3 major markets. By 3 major markets, there are different entry points where you could play. So we have the occupier market, the development market, and the investments. In the occupier markets, that's where we have most of the people who are not bringing in money into the real estate supply chain. So what they do basically is they offer, like the consultants, the marketers, the agents, the facility management companies. They are in the occupier market. They are just there sitting, waiting for an investor or a developer to create a product, then for them to push it. So the developmental market, that's where we have development companies that are into serious active development. Then there are investment markets where investors pushing money or financiers to the developers chamber so that they can produce assets. Then in the same real estate, we have various subsectors that you could play in. You could either do the residential, retail, office, industrial, or hotel. There are some people who are very good in hotel business. That's the only thing they do. If you tell them come and buy property and set up an industry, they say no, because they have all the knowledge that has to do with hotel management. Now in Nigeria, residential, retail, office, industrial, hotel are very common. But this healthcare is a peculiar niche that developers are not looking into that as is, probably because it is capital intensive. If you go to Dubai, you will see around that bin Rashid Road, you will see Dubai Healthcare Center. It's a very large expanse of land, I think about 8,000 hectares, that is basically is like an estate of group of hospitals. The gynecology, optician, everywhere has its own departments. Then people come in to do business there. So just like we have residential estates here, in advanced countries, they have healthcare healthcare estates where everything they do there is just healthcare. In Nigeria, we don't have such now. So if you have money, I think this is a niche that we should be looking at exploring. But residential, retail, office, industrial, and hotel, they are very, very popular. Now, in the real estate sector, again, in Nigeria today, this is how it looks like. 6 major sectors: the developers, the consultants, financial service providers, construction companies, and regulators. Do you know that developers are not necessarily construction companies? Developers have they are like the companies that bring together all the other participants in the industry to provide that product. So they consult the services of construction companies, they consult the services of service providers like lawyers, architects. Then they also bring in financiers who are going to finance the project. The regulators is the government. This is the most feared part of the participant or players in the real estate sector. You can just acquire a piece of property hoping to do a 9-story floor, and you already have that zone or that area zoned for 9 floors. And as you are about to start, the government says you can't do more than 5 floors because they are planning to put an airport around that axis. So the regulators are very, very powerful. The consultants are people who offer services, both legal or marketing services, and financiers. These ones, they are interested in real estate, but they don't want to be active players, but they have the money. So they are looking up to people who will bring up interesting projects and they will fund it for a share of profits from the proceeds of the development. So those are the financiers. Now, what is a real estate portfolio? A real estate portfolio is a collection of investment assets that you hold in order to achieve a desired goal. Now, I have seen in so many cases where a lot of people, they invest in property without even knowing the reason why they are buying that property. They buy property just because maybe Sharon just bought a plot of land, or she just bought one house in Banana Island. Me too, I have to buy my own house in Banana Island. You get? So there is no financial goal, there's no aim, there's no reason. They are just buying because maybe the property is trending. There are some people who are like that. They just go online and they look at the trending property. They say, let me to buy this one. You must have a financial goal. And when you're investing in real estate, you should know, you should think, is it a short-term, mid-term, or a long-term investment? For instance, there are people who buy a plot of land and they expect that in the next 2 years, they can make times 10 of the value of that property. That is not obtainable in real estate. If anybody tells you, bring your 2 million naira, this property in the next 2 years, you can sell it for 20 million naira, that's the beginning of story that we touch, because that is not obtainable in real estate. So you have to determine, is your financial goal, is it a mid-term or a long-term goal? In 2017, there was a lady that bought some properties from me. She bought 24 plots of land in Ibejuleki, a town called Oshoroko, sharing boundary with the present Dangote refinery. So I asked that woman that, how can you buy a plot? Then was around 1.2 million naira with C of O in the houses. So I was like, why are you buying this large property in this houses? She said, her plan is that once her children get to university level, she wants them to go to Harvard. So she's going to liquidate their assets, then use it to fund the Harvard. That 1.2 million naira land, as I'm speaking today, if you go and check around that Oshoroko or anywhere in Ibejuleki that has C of O, you will not get it for at least 10 million naira. At least 10 million naira. meaning she already has about 7.8 million naira profit in 24 places. So you have to know, why do you want to do this? There are some people who go into property just because they want to have cash flow to repay for school fees. So you have to set, you have to look at it. What do you want to achieve with this investment? So these are the basic factors to consider when creating your portfolio. What's your objective? What's your numbers? Management and finance. Objective means, why are you going into this real estate investment? Then your numbers. How much do you have? How much will this property cost me? How much will it cost me to maintain? What is the agency? What is this? You calculate all those numbers and you now factor in, how much will this property be giving me in so time? That's your numbers. And management. If you are going into, say, development, or you want to have a physical asset, even if it is a 1-bedroom apartment, let's say in Yaba, and you want to put it out on rent, you have to think, am I going to be there to manage this, or I'll be managing in proxy? That's, I'll offer it out to facility management companies that will be helping me to manage that property. So you have to consider that, because there is a current trend that is ongoing. They will tell you that instead of using your property for the conventional rents, that you can use it for short lets. Let's say you have a 2-bedroom in Ekati, they say you can use it for short lets. Now, what they don't tell you is that if you consider the management fee and the maintenance fee, the profit is not always as much as it is. So that's knowing your numbers and deciding if this is something you also have to manage yourself or you give it out. So if you are giving it out, even if it is a bare piece of land, you have to consider the management cost. Because once a company or the seller allocates that portion of land to you, it becomes your responsibility to maintain it. The maintenance is off. If it has to do with clearing, you have to keep doing your clearing maybe every 3 months, every 6 months, depending on the location and how fast the place becomes bushy. Then you have to know your finance. At the end of this class, I'll be showing you how you can generate finance to fund your real estate business. Now, these are the major, or the 3 basic playing grounds. That's how you can come in. You can come in to buy and build, which is development. Now, development does not mean you must have 100 million naira to build a large estate. You can start with building just on a plot of land, and you will now do 3 different buildings. 4-bedroom semi-detached in front, then at the back, you do maybe 5-bedroom fully detached duplex, and you create a small drive-in for the person at the back, the chairman, to access his 5-bedroom duplex at the back. You can start with that. So you don't need to have 100 plots so that you build a large estate. No, you can start with just a plot, do something, show people what you can do. And now there is this new trend, especially in Lagos. People are gradually understanding off-plan properties. Off-plan properties are properties that are being marketed at the conceptual stage. That's, you just do a 3D picture and show them, this is how it will look like. So this particular plot that you want to build 3 apartments or 3 buildings, you can just get money to do one, furnish it, let them see how it will look like. People will give you money to build the other one. That process is working like magic currently in Lagos. If you want to build 100 units of 3-bedroom bungalows, all you need to do is do one. Let them see how it will look like. Let them have the feeling, do the home stage, and you will be marveled at what is going to happen. These are practical and are not theory. My colleague just launched a 50 units of bungalow in a 3-bedroom. He just did 6, and the 50 units, as I'm talking to you now, they are all sold out within 6 months. He just did 6, did the open house, show them how it will look like, and people are buying it. So you don't need to have all the money to go into that. Then there's buy and lease. You have your bulk money, you can buy, let's say, that 3-bedroom bungalow, then you rent it out and be collecting your 2.5 million naira per rent, million naira per year. Or you do short let. Short let means you give it out to people who just want to use it for 1 or 2 days. But for short lets, you need to be able to manage it yourself. And one of the secrets of short let is that if you want to get customers all the time, you have to spend money on furnishing, spend money on quality things. And you see people, they don't mind. If other places are collecting 50,000 naira per night, you can collect 70, 80,000 naira per night, and people will not bother. Then the third one is buy and hold. Buy and hold is what? Basically land banking. Buy and hold means you buy underdeveloped land or undervalued land in places that development is upcoming and has prospects, and you wait for development to happen and you cash out. That's the reason in Lagos State, Ibejuleki and Ekpe are trending, because those places are what? Underdeveloped lands which are cheaper, and development is moving to that axis. That's why people are buying, especially those who missed out in the Lekki phase 1, the Ikoyi of that time, and they are looking at correcting that mistakes. Now, the only problem with land banking is that you have to buy right. You have to buy right. If you buy from the wrong hands, you may not have anything to sell when you are ready to sell. So I'll be showing you how to avoid such mistakes before the end of this thing. Now, land banking can be physical, which is buying the land and waiting for it to appreciate, or it could be virtual. Now, there's virtual land banking, or something I'll call virtual land banking, that is getting popular in Lagos. Virtual land banking means you don't want to be involved in the process of the acquisition of the property, but you know a company or a group of people who are very good in identifying properties that can bring in, that can bring a huge return on investment. So you give them the money and they go and do it, then they share profit.
Buy what?
Hello? Okay, I'll have to mute everybody. Okay, so as I was saying, land banking could either be physical, which is the traditional buying and selling of land, or it could be virtual, which is crowdfunding a real estate developer to acquire large expanse of land, which they sell and they share profit with you. There are a lot of companies now that do that. They will tell you, oh, don't worry, just give us the money. We'll buy the large expanse of land, and when we sell, you collect maybe 20%, 30%, or 35% per annum, depending on how much you invest. Now, why this model work is because of the popular saying that says cash is king. The developer, having collected all this money from a lot of people, has cash at hand, which he can use to bargain and buy this property at even cheaper price, because those are money, they love money. If they have a property that is worth, say, 100 million naira, 200 acres of land, and you tell them you want to pay in installments, they may tell you, okay, no problem, bring the initial deposit and fund the 80 million or the balance in the next 1 year. But if you tell them, see, this 100 million naira property, I have my cash, look at the money here. I'm not saying give me a payment plan or what. Look at the money here. Take 50 million naira now and give me, they are ready to do that. Which is why cash is king in real estate. Paying outright is cheaper. Even for the small land we buy, the 1 plot, the 2 plots, you will notice that if you are paying outright, you enjoy sometimes up to 5 to 10% discount on that property. If a property is 10 million naira, if you are paying outright, you can get it for 8.59 million naira, meaning you are saving because you are bringing the money in bulk at once. So these are the three major playing field if you want to go into this. So let's look at the acquisition process. Now, you have decided that, okay, I want to acquire, my financial goal is that I want to use this property to fund the education of my children. Now, how do you go about acquiring this property? The first stage is the awareness. You get to know that, oh, there's even a property somewhere that can give you that financial goal. Then you inspect it. Now, people think inspecting a property is going there to look at the land. Is it dry or is it wet? Let me see. Is it inside bush? Is there a pole there? That is not inspection. And that's what 90% of real estate investors do. Inspection starts with you going there at least with a surveyor. A surveyor will help you to chart or pick the coordinates of that land and go back to the land registry to confirm the title those persons are talking about. You may be happy you've gotten the best offer, and they will now tell you that that location you are buying is under government acquisition, or that location you are buying is committed for a refinery, and you are hoping to build your mansion on that land. Or they will tell you that location you are about to buy is free, but it is zoned for agricultural purposes. Meaning that even if you build a house there now, in 20 years, any government can come and demolish that building. So the next one is due diligence. You do due diligence, and due diligence starts from inspection. Then engage the service of lawyer to confirm the genuinity and the authenticity of the title that the seller is claiming. Then there will be an offer and acceptance. Okay, I'm offering you this property at this price. You say, okay, I will pay this price. You both agree, and you do documentation and you kickstart. Now, let me give you a live example. About 3 months ago, my company wanted to acquire a 30-acre land in Ibejuleki. That's about 180 plots. So we went to the family, we did all the meeting, we agree on the amount, we agree on the size, we agreed on everything. We did the drone shoot, we saw the area of the place, and we now said, okay, before we make our final payments, we would like our surveyor to do a perimeter survey, a physical perimeter survey of the area. Let him go around the entire property. Let us at least ascertain what we're about to pay for. Lo and behold, they went there the first day and they said there's too much water, they cannot continue, they have to go and hire a canoe. I said, canoe, what do you want to use canoe for? They say, that the place is so deep that they just need to get a canoe. The next day, they went there with a canoe, and this is part of the land we're about to pay for. In fact, on this right-hand side, you can see a settlement. Some people already put a settlement there, and they are seriously dredging, pumping sand onto their own part of the land. To cut the long story short, we discovered that over 35 plots that we're about to pay for have already been encroached by these people who are doing serious dredging. So it's not enough for you to just say, okay, you've seen the land, you have to do what? A serious check to confirm that what you are buying, it is actually what it is. Now, these are the 7 pitfalls you have to avoid when doing real estate transaction. You have to avoid this. Now, number 1 is defective property. By defective property, we mean property that is not what they say it is. For instance, in Ekpe has a lot of freehold property. Freehold property means properties that the government have not earmarked for anything. They don't have interest. So once you buy that kind of property from the family, all you need to do is to go and process your C of O direct from the government. That's freehold. Now, the property becomes effective if the family refuses to declare to you the usage, because properties are zoned for industrial, commercial, agriculture, or recreation, or whatever. In Ekpe now, most of the freehold properties are zoned for agric use. Now, you have paid out a huge sum of money thinking you are buying property zone for residential. Now, when you go to the land registry or Alausa to perfect your document, they will tell you, sorry, this is an agric land. You will now start the process of ratification. That is if they allow you to ratify. You get. Now, special use property. There are some properties that have been zoned, for instance, for refinery, for golf course, for hospitals, and you are unaware. You just went there, you bought it, then you are happy, you got something, you transfer title, and after 20 years, the government will come and they say they want to build a train station across that place. Those are special use property. Now, proper charting by a competent surveyor will release all this information. Now, incomplete title. There are some titles that are very funny, which are very, very trending, especially in Lagos real estate. You'll be hearing something like accession in process, accession is coming, accession proposed. All those are not property title. Most of these real estate, this Omonile, especially in Ibejuleke and Co., they apply for accession, they get to a stage, they abandon it. Accession means an excised land is a land which government has released for use. So when they apply for that accession, they just stop halfway and refuse to complete the process. Now you will be happy you bought a property, not knowing that the property is what? Incomplete. Sorry, please give me a minute. So sorry, guys, for that break. I have somebody at the gate. I have to call the estate security to allow him in. Okay, so the next one is reversionary rights. Our lawyers in the house, they will know this. Reversionary rights, that word came from the word revert. Revert, that's to take back. Now, reversionary rights simply means when you are buying a piece of property, what you are buying is the interest on that property. Interest as in the title on that property. And most time, especially for properties that have proper title, that C of O, what you are buying is the unexpired interests. Unexpired interests. The interest that has not expired. We all know that C of O has a tenure of 99 years. So if you buy a piece of land that the C of O was given in 1989, how many years is left out of 99 years? Meaning about 30 or 34 years is already gone from that C of O. So what you are left is about 65 years. So that 65 years is what you are buying. Or you now bought a property with an unexpired interest of, let's say 10 years. Meaning after 10 years, the government can come back and tell you that, come, you have to ratify. Your C of O has expired. So you have to pay so amount of money. Now, when you are signing your deed, that's the seller is transferring title for you. Both of you have to agree who is going to take the reversionary rights. Who has the power to renew that certificate of occupancy? You will be happy that you bought a property and you are living, or you put it in the will for your children to enjoy after their deaths. And this dubious seller has already told his children, don't worry, that C of O of Mr. Oluwaseyi, of that land in the Banana Island, it will expire in 2034. So once it's 2034, the right to renew comes back to you. Don't worry, just go and take it. Then after your demise, God forbid, those children will not be fighting your children that this land is our father's land. By the time they now want to go and bring a deed, they will now see that, true, the reversionary rights clause was not stated, or it was stated, but it said it reverts to the former owner. So whenever you are doing property, it could be very painful, but you have to be aware that that reversionary rights have to be given to you. If it's not given to you, then you should also know or decide if it is a transaction you want to continue with or you don't want to continue from it. Another pitfall is buying from the wrong person. Buying from the wrong person. This is very common, especially when you are buying from Omonile. Omonile are locals, indigenous, that own the property in these Lagos houses. In fact, those people that sold to you, they could even be part of the family. But the other faction will tell you, no, they don't have right to collect because it is from their mother's side. It is we that are from the father's side. They've collected your money. They are fighting among themselves. You can't use the land for anything. You get. So this is what proper due diligence will help you to solve. One of my protégés just acquired 25 acres on Thursday in Ekpe. One of the things we did is we consulted 2 different lawyers that went to that village. We lodged them there for 2 days. They were just asking questions. Do you know this family name? They say, yes, now they are in so community. What about this Alaji so person? They say it's the head of the family. Is it the head of? So you go to the palace, you go to the palace, you ask all those. If you are buying, especially large hectares of land, these are some of the things you do. Another pitfall is rejecting collaboration. Collaboration is the way to bloom or grow faster in real estate, especially if you want to do it big. For instance, you want to build 4 blocks of 9 floors in Ekate or in Lekki, and you will need at least 4 plots of land to do that. That 4 plots, you will not get it for nothing less than 400 million naira. And to start that project, you will need at least 2 billion naira to even move to site. Now you now have a friend who now said, this project you want to start in Nekati, do you know that I have 4 plots in Nekati that you can use? Why not, instead of going to buy 4 plots for 400 million, why not let me release my plots to you? Then that 400 million, you can even start it. You can start with that money to start building something, and people will see. You say, no, I don't want to collaborate with anybody. It's only me. It's only me. That project will take you years without completion. So most smart investors, what they do is what? They collaborate. That's why you hear something like JV. JV means joint venture. You have the land, I have the money. Give me the land, let me build. So even if it is 1 unit of, and the example I gave at the beginning, that you need a plot and you want to build 2 4-bedroom in front, 1 5-bedroom fully detached at the back, you can also use that strategy. If you are here, you have that plot of land, you can collaborate with 1 or 2 of you. Oh, I have the money. Then you start something, because real estate collaboration is one of the fastest way to grow. When I want to start this iStone, I needed some money. I went to my colleague and I said, see, we need about 90 million to go into this. What do you think? How much can you raise? So, okay, let's do it this way, let's do it this way. And today we've started. So you don't have to wait that all the money must come from you. You can collaborate. But if you want to collaborate, you have to be careful of who you choose as a partner in your business, or else you will pay a higher price. You will pay a higher price than what is supposed to is what is supposed to be. Now, incomplete documentation. What's the difference between incomplete title and incomplete documentation? Incomplete documentation, you buy a piece of property, maybe from a real estate company, for instance. Basically, they're supposed to give you the receipts. They will give you the deed of assignment. They will give you acknowledgement letter, and they should give you an invoice even before you even make payments. Now, you don't have that title. You don't have those documents complete. Then when they are giving you deed, you are supposed to have at least 4 deeds from the company. Because when you want to perfect, you will take 3 to Alausa. 3 original copies, you take them to Alausa with the survey for them to start the process. At the end of the whole thing, Alausa will keep 2, they will still return 1 to you. You get. So these are some of the pitfalls you need to avoid when acquiring property. Now we are going to the most interesting part of the discussion. So if you want me to continue, please type right on. In the next 5 minutes, we are done with the presentation. So thank you so much. Financing property acquisition. Now, this is the interesting part. These are the 4 models you can use to finance property acquisition. You can do equity, you can do debt, you can do debt equity, you can do sales. With this 4 ways, you can finance any real estate transaction. What is equity? That was the example I was giving you. I wanted to start a company, and they said, Hassan, everything you will need to get started is like 50 million naira. And I don't have that 50 million naira cash. That's including the land and at least to get started. I said, okay, Mr. Lagbajasi, I want to go into this. What do you think? How much do you have? Can you raise 10 million naira? Okay. For that 10 million, how much equity do you want to take? Is it 10, 20%? So you agree with the person. How much share from the company are you going to release for that transaction to go through? Now, debt is what? You borrow money to finance that project. But unfortunately, our banks don't give money to individuals who are what? Starting something, who are starting something new. They prefer to give debt to people who are old in the business. And so how do you go about this? One of the ways you can use to get debt easily is from even the companies you want to buy from. Let's say you want to buy a piece of property worth 10 million naira. Or let's say land worth 5 million naira. There are some companies who give you the option to pay for up to 24 months, some 48 months. So instead of paying that 5 million naira bill once, you divide it by 24, and you now do your numbers and find out if you divide 5 million by 24 and it comes out to, let's say, 70,000, can you conveniently be removing 70,000 naira from your current income and be funding that property acquisition? That's debt. You have financed that property and you have used debt to do that. Do you know that even popular real estate developers who go into this site and service, buy large expanse of land and intend to turn it into an asset in future, they use this debt financing. They tell the money, like, okay, everything is 300 million naira, right? Okay, what I have now is 60 million. Hold this 60 million naira and I'll balance off the remaining in the next 6 months. So they have acquired property worth 300 million with 60 million naira. Now, debt equity means you are combining the two. You collect some money from your friend and do initial deposit for the property, and you still give him some equity in the business. Now, the cheapest entry point to fund real estate acquisition is sales. Sales means you find a reputable company, that has integrity and promotes their property for a share in the profits from the sale. What do I mean? Some companies give 3, 4, 5, some even give, especially for lands, up to 10% for closing a transaction for them. This is how I came in. I came in through number 4. I don't have 4 million, 5 million, boom, to go and buy property. I say, okay, no wahala. Let's come in through sales. I can't be in Lagos. My dad has been in Lagos since 1989 or so, but he does not have his property. So I don't want to be like that. I want to have estates, but I don't have one rich uncle or one allergy somewhere that will give me money to go into real estate. So I came in as a salesperson. So what do? If they give me that 1 million naira commission, I keep 700,000 and spend the 300,000. So I was saving until one day, and I said that, okay, I can buy these plots. This one is just 2 million. I can buy this one. I can buy that one. So that is the easiest and the fastest entry point if you don't have that large capital. And today, by God's grace, using everything here, I've used it, using both equity and debt. I and my partner have 3 estates in Lagos State, and none of them is less than 180 plots. So you can come in through sales, then you rise up to the level you want to get to. So, ladies and gentlemen, these are the ways with which you can build a profitable real estate investment. If you avoid those pitfalls, you have a profitable portfolio. If something looks too good to be true, it is actually too good to be true. So you run away. I've seen people who they will tell them, oh, this property just pay 2 million naira, and you have it in a location where it's selling for 10 million naira. So you have to do what? Super due diligence to avoid losing your investment. So ladies and gentlemen, thank you and God bless you. So if there are any questions, I'm going to unmute Oluwaseun and Oluwaseyi. So if there are any questions, you can drop them in the chat box, then I'll try to read them. I think Sean and Sheyi can also carry on from here, while I see if there are any questions in the chat.
Okay, thank you, sir, for this. Please, if you have any question, you can drop it in the chat or you raise your hand and you speak, please.
Okay, we have Adeyemi Sani. Okay, let me unmute Adeyemi.
Hello, can you hear me?
Okay, go ahead, Mr. Adeyemi.
Good evening, sir. Thank you very much for the wonderful presentation. Thank you for having us tonight. I actually wanted to point out that there is a question on the platform already, and it was asked by Bamidele Aremu. He said,
okay,
for properties that are being sold by these plenty new development companies, do they usually do the diligence? Then the second part of it is also Ekpe properties, are they really worth it? What are your views, sir? Thank you.
Thank you so much for this question. This is a very, very, very good question. That these companies that sell these lands, do they actually do due diligence? I can tell you 90% of them do due diligence. Do you know why? Because none of those transactions will be worth less than 100 million naira. So you won't want to put your 100 million in an investment without knowing what is at stake. So you have to know what you are buying. You have to know the problem that is there. For instance, if you want to buy a piece of land anywhere on the island, you are already aware that that place will be marshy. That place will need some filling. So not all the properties that after conducting due diligence that are perfect. No, there's no perfect property. They buy them with the problems, with the hope of correcting as they go. But unfortunately, there are some companies that they know this problem is too much for me to solve. And this money I'm collecting for the sale of the property cannot solve that problem. But they go ahead and do that with the aim of disappearing after some time. So sorry to say that, but that's the reality. Some companies, they don't have future. They don't have plans. They don't have plans in developing all those properties they are selling. So they do due diligence, but to know what they are buying, 90% of them they do. But if they see that the problem is beyond them, some of them may take off. Also in Ekpe, are they really worth it? Now, Ekpe, Ibejuleki, those places are going to do much better than the current Lekki phase 1 we know in the next 15, 20 years because of the massive development ongoing in that axis. That's why people are flooding that axis. So the properties, investing in that axis is worth it. But the only thing there is that you have to do proper due diligence, not just on the property, but on the personalities, the companies, the CAC. In fact, some people go as much as doing background check. They will check with the police if the MD or the CEO has had a police case. If there's a police case, which type of case that the person was involved in. Like when we launched this, the first property we have in Ekpe, the number of searches I have on LinkedIn increased every week. Even today, it keeps increasing, meaning people are not just interested in doing due diligence on the property, they are also doing diligence on the owners of the properties. So I have another hand raised. So I think I'll be able to answer that question. Okay, Mr. Adeyemi's hand is still raised. So if there's any question, You can drop it in the group, or you raise your hand, then I'll mute you.
Okay, please, can I go ahead?
Go ahead, sir.
Oh, okay. So now, my own question is actually to ask if, aside from Lagos, do you have, and the axis around Lagos, do you have experiences? Because I am speaking from FCT Abuja.
Okay.
Do you have experiences there? And I know there's a lot of real estate opportunities in Abuja, and a lot of things are coming up there. So I wanted to know if you have experiences there, and then I can do my second part of the question. Thank you.
Okay. Abuja is an interesting place when it comes to real estate. I love Abuja real estate in the sense that it is more structured and more organized than our Lagos real estate. In Abuja, you can have a whole place, and it will look like a large estate, because everywhere is zoned for the particular type of building structure that is supposed to be there. For instance, if we go to Katampe extension, you will see that some places have 5 floors of block of flats. Some places are duplexes, very beautiful. So meaning, if you want to buy anything in Abuja, you have to, in fact, the companies are already marketing them as based on the purpose. They market the land based on purpose. They tell you this 100 square meter, this is what you can build on it, even right from the marketing stage. Yes, I have colleagues who are into property in Abuja, and we also have a few partners too that have both lands and apartments in Abuja.
Okay, thank you very much. So, looking at the structure of that you've explained in terms of development, what would you recommend since you have a little bit of experience in Abuja from your colleagues and from and a lot of how it's done, what would you recommend would be the best entry manner into the real estate business in Abuja?
In Abuja, currently, people that have money that do serious development, they are doing it in Katampe, that Life Camp, Wuye, Guzape. Those are the areas that Guzape is one of the areas that once you start building your units of apartments, before you know it, they are sold out. So those yes. So development. Yes. Are you there?
Please go ahead, sir. Please go ahead, sir. I'm listening to you.
Yeah. So development in that axis is very fast, because I have experience. There was a time we went to Guzape, I think early this year, to get a piece of property we can use for apartments. And they were like, oh, this one is gone, this one is gone. In fact, before you even start project, people are already interested in what you are doing. So those upcoming locations, they are very good places where you can start development. But for land, most people are doing around that airport axis. But the only problem with that axis is under AMAC. And for AMAC, you have to do, that's Abuja Municipal Area Council. You have to do serious due diligence, or else you buy property that you'll not be able to perfect. But these other locations I called, they are, what do they call that? Properties that have CFO. How do they call it?
Opamiko, are you there? Maybe you can help a little bit with that.
RFO. So you have to be very, very, just do your due diligence. And also, there are a lot of people there that also in Abuja that are open to collaborations. They understand JV that you can partner with. Now you will be asking me, how can I know people who may be interested in JV? With small adverts, even on your timeline, you can, oh, JV 1,000 square meter needed is also as if you have, send me a DM. You will see people who will contact you. Some may be agents, but at the end of the day, you get what you are looking for. All these people are out there, even people who are interested in financing what you want to do. All you need to do is to just show them numbers that this is what you want to do. Let them see the detailed plan and they will be ready to invest in your project. Just that you have to be careful. Some of them will want to collect the whole interest. So do your calculation very well before accepting such a collaboration.
Okay, thank you very much. The last part actually answered perfectly, because a lot of places are opening up in Abuja, like you said, the Katampe, the Life Camp, the Pape, Wuye, Guzape. Now, what would you see to the structure? What I was trying to look at is the structure of, getting a land and going into partnership or using outright debt to finance in Abuja, because looking at the requirement to acquire land in Abuja is actually very high in all of those places in terms of capital needed. So that's why I'm saying that, okay, what kind of financing structure would be most appropriate? Should we do debt now, or should we do JV, or should we be looking at, okay, getting somebody's land and then building and, maybe having some part of the units as a payment?
JV is the best and cheapest entry point, because that 300 million naira you want to use to get that plot in the, let's say, Katampe extension, is enough for you to do several units of apartments, which you can decide how you want to share the apartment with the landowner. So JV is always recommended. I have since about 3 years ago, I learned this from somebody who has built more than 10 structures in Banana Island, and none of them is less than 9 floors. He said, as big as that man is, he said, which looks funny, he said, Mr. Azan, I don't have money to buy land. I said, with all this, so what do you do? He said he does JV. So you can imagine. He said he does JV, he does not buy land. All those high structures, he does not buy the land. So JV is the cheapest entry point once you can understand yourself with the owner of the land.
Thank you very much. Sheyi, you want to read Bam Bam's question out?
Yeah, Bam Bam Delaremu's question. He said the biggest challenge to buying a land is financing, like you had mentioned. How can a common man like him with 300,000 monthly, which I know is earning more, with 4 children, actually you have 3, be able to acquire something? So for someone that has 300,000 monthly with many children, how does he go into such financing?
Okay,
that's the question.
Let me show you the answer to that question. I'll go back to my slide. Number 4. Number 4 is the fastest way to finance real estate projects, because that is how I came in. I was earning 250,000 naira somewhere, and that money cannot even sustain me before the month end, and there's no way I could get property with that amount of money. So I came in as a salesperson and I started recommending properties to people, and that is how I started. You can sell a property and collect a commission of 1 million naira. It may take you time based on your network, but if you are committed and focused to your goal, you will get to achieve it. So that's the easiest way. Then another one is this number 2, debts. There are some companies that allow you to pay even for 12 months. So out of your 300K, let's say it's 100K you can use to fund a property. I think in Lugbe Aziz, you can get property for like 4 million naira, good properties, 400, 450 square meter for like 4 million naira. And some of them can give you up to, I want us to do the math together. Let's see. Let me see if I can get a calculator here. So let's say the property is 4 million with an initial deposit of, let's say 300,000 naira. So if you drop your 300,000 for that month, just know that you have to really, or you just save 150 for 2 months so that you can, in the third month, drop the initial deposit of 300,000. So you'll be left with that's 3.7 million naira. 3.7 million, and you have 12 months to pay that. So it means the salary cannot even carry it, unless if they give you 24 months. So with 24 months, you will be paying like 154,000 naira every month until you sell off. But do you know that there are companies who allow you to sell maybe 10 plots and they give you a plot? I've done this to a lot of pastors who would tell me, Hassan, I have my people who are interested in this stuff. I say, Oga, it's very easy now. Just bring them. If you can give us just 20 people or 10 that buy, you have 1 plot. So this thing is all about what? Your influence and your net worth or your network, people that you know that they can do this. So your own job is just to make sure that this company is as reputable as it is. When I was marketing, before I bring any land to anybody, I've taken my own surveyor to the place. I've gone to Alausa to check. I've confirmed the CFO. So I do as if I want to buy the land because I don't want to sell what I cannot buy, even though I don't have the money, but it should be something that if I have the money, I should be able to pay for. So I do all my due diligence. Before I say, okay, come and pay for this land. It's a good land. Then I collect my commission. I know I can go to sleep because selling property is a relationship business that will last for at least 99 years. Because CFO lasts for 99 years. So if you sell any property to anybody, you have started a relationship that will last for like 99 years. So how will you, because of 1 million or 200K, you want to collect, jettison that relationship? So it's very important. Any of us here that is interested in using sales as an entry point to fund their real estate dream, make sure whatever you are recommending to anybody, you have also done your own due diligence. You have found out that it's something that you can buy on your own before you start telling people, oh yeah, come and buy this property. That's one of the things, Realtor House, that's what they do. Check out this property this company is selling. Is it what it is they say it is? Then they now give it to their subscribers to go to buy the property. So thank you so much for that question. I think I'm seeing another question here.
Yeah, so we have 2 questions. We have 2 questions available. One is from Sean Davis. Can one earn sales commission on referral without signing up as a sales agent with your rector company or any of these other big rector? Then the second question from Daniel. You mentioned earlier that financing via equity is hard. Please, what is the difficulty involved in it? So one, can someone get commission through referral? Maybe I have someone that I want to buy, I'll just refer them to Shion or to you, then you give me my commission. Then the second question is, what's the difficulty involved in equity financing? Thank you.
These are very, very, very interesting questions. Yes, you can earn commission without signing up with anybody. You just have agreement with the seller and see, this is your property. I have somebody who is interested in it. When I close the deal, this is how much are you paying? If you say 2%, say no, I want 3%, you can negotiate even before you start proposing the property to your prospect. But what you need to know and take note is the higher the price of any property, the lower the commission. That's why generally houses have lower commission than land. Land, some people can give you even 10%, but for houses, nobody will want to give you 5%. You have to drag it. Some do 1%, 2%. 3% is the highest in most cases because of the volume. So take note of that. Yes, you can go to a registered company and tell them, yes, I can sell this for you. What is your commission? If you're okay with it, you go ahead and promote, then you earn your commission. But just know that that commission you are earning, you are saving a huge part of it to fund your real estate lifestyle. Now, I said funding via or financing via equity is hard because you don't know your partner. Just yesterday, that my colleague, I said, acquired 25 acres in Ekpe. He called me. He said, boss, I have somebody who is ready to drop 25 million naira because he has found out that I'm really serious about starting this my real estate development company. When I showed him my office that I just got, everything was just last week. The guy did everything just last week. I showed him the office I just got. He saw the furnishing going on. He was like, wow, that he's ready to key in, putting 25 million naira into the business. This is somebody in the past 1 year has told him that he can put in 50 million. But the man was not forthcoming when he was not seeing sign that this guy was serious. But now when he saw that this guy has an office, he has already acquired something in Ekpe, the man said he's ready to drop 25 million naira cash now. But the challenge is, he said he wants 40% of the business. And sir, I'm actually thinking and considering of giving it to him because the man is this, the man. The first answer that came out from my mouth is don't do it. Don't do it. Why? Because this partner is not ready to be involved in running the business. He said it. He always travel around. So he's only interested in profits from the business. So that's why I said equity is difficult because you may not know this person. You may even think you know this person, but see, by the time you start discussing billions, this person can change. This person can change. Unless if you want to start a company and after 10 or 15 years, you want to be sleeping with one eye open because you are scared. Maybe one partner or somewhere will want to come and use hired assassin to shoot you because they have refused to give him something from the business. So you have to be very, very, very careful. You have to decide, what is this partner bringing on board? Is it just money? Is it expertise? Is it net worth? Or what? Then whatever the person is bringing in the money, you tie, if it is sweat equity, that's this guy have the knowledge, have everything. You tie it to a milestone. Okay, if you help us get 20 customers, your share capital in the business is 5%. Now, these 20 customers, if they increase to 40 customers in the next 6 months, now your 5% has increased to 10%. But just note, whatever happens, the highest you can get from this company is 15%. And we are going to tie it to a milestone so that you don't bring in a partner on board who just becomes a money bag and you just go and sleep and be waiting for you to fund all his lifestyle with the sweat you have generated from the interest in that business. So that's why I say equity is hard. Just know whoever you are bringing on board so that you will not become a cankerworm. I know of a business that someone started with a partner and the partner wasn't forthcoming and they tried to kick out that guy. The guy said he's going nowhere, that he's a signatory to the company. At last, they have to settle the guy with 150 million naira. 5%. The guy just owns 5% of the company. I'm not talking of America. I don't want to mention the name. I'm talking of Lagos here. They have to settle the guy with 150 million naira. The business was just 2 years old. The guy said he will collect 150 million before he will go. Even the 150 million, he will still keep 1%. He still has 1% in the company. He said he's not liquidating everything. So you have to be careful whoever you choose to become your partner. Next question, please.
Yeah, the next question is saying, can you, why don't you, he was saying something about, asking about venture capitalists. That's Daniel. He said, what about using venture capitalists?
Okay, venture capitalists are people who give you money to fund your real estate projects. But what I've noticed with most of these VCs is that their interest is okay. Some of them do, like there's one that is wanting to give us finance at 17.5% per annum, which is cheaper compared to the banks that will be telling you to bring between 26 to 33%. 26 to 33% cost of fund. How much are you going to sell the project by the time you complete it? Meaning automatically, by the time you add, if you collect loan at 33%, you give agents plus marketing costs 70%. Then your own profit, let's say your own profit, you add 40% because you have to put expenses on, you add 40%. So that's already 80%. Meaning if you are to build that apartment for 10 million naira, you can't sell it less than 18 million. Meaning your project is already overpriced. If locations around the houses are selling below 18 million, you're already in problem. You can't even start that project. You can't even collect that money. That's one problem with collecting from bank. Venture capitalists is cheaper. But see, one thing I want you to know is if you want to collect from these VCs, most of them will not agree. Try and collect Naira. Try and collect Naira. If you go and borrow money in dollar, before you start the project, you may already be losing to exchange because Naira is not stable. I know of somebody in Abuja, I'll not mention name. We went to the same Lagos Business School, and during case study, he was giving an example of how he collected money in dollar to do a high rise in Abuja. And he collected dollar at, I think, 280 per dollar. And before they could even start the project, the dollar jumped to 330 per dollar, meaning he has already lost about 10% of that money. To cut the long story short, that project will not be done. But there's a way you can collect dollar and still profits from it. You collateralize the dollar. This is advanced. You collateralize the dollar. Some of us who understand that, I hope we've taken it. You collateralize the dollar and you still do your project. So venture capitalists, yes, you can get money from them, but another problem with them is that they want to see figure. They want to see your 3D. They want to see your architectural plan. They want to see the formal project you have done. They want to see this. The requirement is always, but if you can meet their requirement, yes, venture capitalists is also a good way to go. So I hope I'll be able to answer that.
Okay, I think, thank you so much for the answers. Please, any more questions from you guys? Please raise your hand or drop the question in the chat box, so we'll know where to go from there. Or do you handle mortgage too?
No, I don't handle mortgage, but I know one or two people who are into that. Okay, so
thank you. Okay, I think you've answered. You're able to answer. You made that now. Okay, Bamdela Remu is asking a question. can you share some of the properties your company is working on? How much and if we can key in?
Okay, that's a very good question. You can get across to Olua Sheung. She will give you all those information. Thank you so much, Mr. Bamidele.
Any more questions, please? Any contribution from you? Okay. Yeah, okay. Yeah.
No, I think we're fine. He has done justice to it. Just if I speak on the Abuja part, Abuja is not as easy as Lagos to get into. And like he has said, one just needs to do their due diligence. The model that he has talked about, if you want to access that in Abuja, you're probably looking at the airport road axis, like he said. I'm speaking Yemisani now. You have to be careful. There are still some developments and some land units around there that are viable, that are from the FCDA, Federal Capital Development Authority, are not AMAC, which you can key into. I know one or two. I can guide you in that regard if need be. So that's the axis, and then the Kuje axis that are still not too developed in that sense. So the model, like you said, Abuja is an interesting place. The model may not work completely like that for Abuja, but there are still a few places that such models can work. So if you are interested, let me know. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much, Opemiko, for your contribution. Daniel, for his contact is Sheung, that's AKA Home Property. So you can only get across to him through Sheung. So that's the direct contact to Mr. Ismail. Thank you. Any other contribution or questions for you guys? Sheung, I'm handing over to you for any. Okay, hold on. Okay, Yemi is asking if we are getting the presentation and the recording, sir.
Yes, I'll send it to Shin.
Okay.
You'll get everything today.
Okay, thank you so much. So Sean, I'm handing over to you for any conclusion and rounding up. Thank you. Sean, are you there? Sean?
You can unmute yourself.
Hello, can you hear me?
Okay. Yeah, we can hear you, so you can round up from there. I don't think there's any other question from anybody. So you can just...
Thank you very much. You've really done a good job. Thank everybody for their time. I hope we gain one or two things tonight. Mr. Zan, we are highly appreciative. Thank you for your wealth of knowledge, sir.
You're welcome.
You will continue to grow. You will continue to grow higher and higher. There's so much. And we know that next time, if we call you to come and do something more for us, you willingly come and accept our invitation. Thank you, everybody, for your time.
Okay.
I too have gained a lot personally tonight. I thought I've known, but now I know that I've not known anything. Thank you very much. Thank you. Bye, class.
Thank you.
Any closing remark before you go?
So basically, whatever you think of, you can achieve it. So you don't need to have all the money in the world before you can start a real estate portfolio. And the best time is now. Don't say, okay, I have this information, I'll go and start using it next month. As from tomorrow, you can hit the streets and see how you can get started. And I wish us all best of luck. And thank you so much for having me.
Okay. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Kap.
So
Thank
for any
you.
contact to Mr. Azan, just get in touch with Sheung. Sheung is
Own property.
the key holder to Mr. Azan.
Thank
So
you.
thank you, everyone. Thank
Yeah,
you for
thank you
coming
very much
for
for your
today's
time.
forum, and have a lovely night and weekend. Thank you.
And
Thank
you
you.
too.
Bye.
Thank you.